This is Susan Dinkle, and this is my EDL 850 case study. So what are the facts? St. Regis School is a rural school 25 miles away from a large city. The school only serves grades K through 8. Budgets are obviously tight, as it is everywhere in this day and age. They have two main fundraisers to help supplement their programs every year, and this last year, they raised enough money to be able to purchase software for their new computer lab. So here are some facts with the teacher response. Mrs. Lynn was comfortable illegally copying the software. Mrs. Williams and the rest of the teachers were excited to have a copy for each of their individual classroom computers. And Mrs. Brandon knew that it was illegal, and she approached Mr. Sample to alert him. So what are the legal and ethical issues that are involved? Well, copying software that's copyrighted is obviously illegal. So the ethical issue would be justifying that it was okay to do the copying because no one will know. It's a small district. Really, is anyone going to tell anybody? But although there was no one was physically harmed, Mrs. Brandon is dealing with the emotional harm, knowing that it's illegal and that she wants to do what is right. And so therefore, that's going to cause some sort of ethical issue just between her and the rest of her staff, or her colleagues, not her staff, but her colleagues. So the synthesis is that Mrs. Lynn illegally copied software and distributed them to other teachers in the school. So what are the facts? The facts are with the people. Those involved were Mrs. Lynn, Mrs. Brandon, Mrs. Williams, Mr. Sample, Mrs. Evans, and other teachers who were in the building that received copies of the software. It took place again in St. Regis School in their computer lab and various classrooms. And the program itself, the software was wanted in various classrooms so that the students would be able to continue to use that software. So if we review and prioritize the information, obviously there's going to be an issue between the veteran teachers and Mrs. Brandon. She has yet to really get to know these teachers. She's just new. She knows that this is not right. She has had experience in previous schools, and they did not allow the use of CDs to be made of copyright of software. So she knows that there are some policies already in place that it's illegal. So having that background knowledge has certainly made her fully aware. On the other side of that, as for the other teachers, if they're older teachers, they truly may not even know about copyright policies and how it would be in part used with software. I do know, like, sometimes schools will play movies, and that is illegal because of copyright issues. So you have to be very careful about that. You obviously want your staff to be cohesive, and you don't want there to become some bullying type issues that might come into play between the veteran teachers and Mrs. Brandon. Obviously, the school could face a huge fine for the copyright violations if nobody actually, or if somebody finds out. If Mrs. Brandon was bothered by everything and she went out and told, then obviously there would be some huge issues that the school could face. The principal, the teachers, the PTA president, they're all involved in this situation, and so they're going to have to work together to make this become a more minor issue. So the next section is talking about the options and the consequences that we could potentially have. So option one is to take no action. Just act like nothing even ever happened. Well, some consequences to that. By taking no action, Mrs. Brandon may quit, or she might tell the copyright owner of the illegal use, which is going to definitely get your school district into some trouble. The school could face huge fines if the word gets out that they violated copyright, and you certainly would not want that. Also, if you let this slide, what else are you going to let slide as an administrator? The second option for me would be to purchase new software for the rest of the teachers and destroying the illegal copies. Obviously, the consequences of that is that it's going to be expensive. It could still possibly get back that the copies were made, so you have to make sure that you have destroyed all of those copies. And it might even be best that you potentially turn yourself in prior to and let them know what you did to destroy them. The third option is to fire Mrs. Lynn. Some of the consequences of that, obviously, we would need to hire someone new to replace her. My relationship with my staff is going to be hurt. Obviously, Mrs. Brandon is not going to feel comfortable, especially if other teachers are going or would potentially give her a lot of grief because she was the reason why that Mrs. Lynn got fired. So when I think about the options that I would do as Mr. Sample, well, I would have to decide how to best keep the relationships with my staff as well as my community okay. We have a great relationship right now. That's really, really important to me. But I also have a legal or ethical obligation to correct the infringement. Although destroying all illegal copies of the software is feasible, there needs to be some training on the laws, the rights, the policies, and the regulations about copyright, not only for your staff, but also for your students. Firing Mrs. Lynn is really not a great option considering she may truly have not known that she was in the wrong. Yes, this makes a huge statement to your staff, but those relationships might be ruined, and it is something that I would certainly not want to do. So, what is my best option? I would most likely do option two. Although it might be easy to turn a blind eye, ethically, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that choice. Firing Mrs. Lynn when you really don't know if she knows what is right or wrong is not an option. Training my staff and working diligently so all students and adults understand copyright would definitely be important. Since the software is needed for the classrooms, I would try to create a way to make the purchasing of the needed software. It appears there might only need to be like 6 copies of the software, and with some creative fundraising strategies, the school may easily be able to get the needed licenses. So in order to implement my decision, I would communicate with Mrs. Brandon and share with her my plan for destroying the copied CDs. I would also probably ask her to help develop a copyright presentation to educate my staff and students on proper use and why it needs to be adhered to. Obviously, she has an idea of what this is. It's obviously important to her, so why not ask her to help in the developing of this program? Then I would create my plan for how I can get the 6 needed software licenses. Honestly, I would reach out to businesses first. In a small town like what we have, if the school needs anything, oftentimes you just have to put the word out and people come forward. Maybe the business isn't doing well itself, but sometimes other individuals will step forward and say, hey, we'd like to contribute $100 or whatever. So that is how I would go about doing it. I would approach maybe some private organizations, anything that benefits our kids. Most of the time, our community is going to support. If I was unable to make the to purchase the needed software because my fundraising efforts just did not fly. It would definitely become a priority for the next year. And I would make sure that everybody who was going to or who wanted to be able to use the software would have a copy on their computers in their classrooms. Finally, this is the standards that have been met through this presentation and in this case study.